Hey guys, it's Vince from Team 2 Legit to Crit. Bring you one more deck profile for this week. I know we haven't gotten a lot of videos up lately, I apologize for that. But this one's going to be on my Glendios deck. I was actually able to kind of get this together. I was playing it with only the one Glendios that I pulled from the sneak packs that you guys saw. But today I actually was able to trade for two more, so I'm able to have a more complete deck to show you. I didn't want to show you a deck with just one Glendios. But even when I was playing the one, it was playing really consistently, and I was still getting the World End. And if I didn't get the World End, I was able to push for game with the power. But anyways, let's start. Star-Vader, World Line Dragon's your starter. As long as you're not on a grade 3, his Vanguard or Soul skill activates. Discard a reverse unit, check top 5 for any Link Joker card. It's to anti-grade stuck yourself, basically. And if you need to, today I grabbed a trigger for extra guard to try to survive. It's honestly, it's a really good starter.
It only works until
you're 3.
Yeah.
Obviously, the most important card of the deck, Glendios. All your rear guards that are link reversed in their name get +4 power and become Link Joker so that their effects of Lord don't come into play. Regular skill is if you call a reverse unit, you lock a unit. Limit Break 4, Counterblast 1, discard a reverse unit. Omega Lock, you keep them locked for another turn cycle. And Limit Break 5, if they have 5 or more locked cards during the beginning of your main phase, you win the game. I've been able to get the Limit Break 5 off almost every game I've played. There's a few times that I don't, and that's if my opponent keeps me at 4. But I'll just keep Omega Locking their field with reverse units on my field and keep adding them back and do all the fun shenanigans and stuff. Because your columns hit 22 to 21, so it's just constant pressure on them. If they don't want to put you at 5 for the World End, you can just keep their front row locked, and they get 1 attack per turn compared to your 3. And your 3 attacks are all going to hit enough of a number to make them have to waste a lot of cards. 2 Darmanstrom. I was playing more Break Rides. I was playing Infinite Zero, but World Line lets you grab him, and I was playing Infinite Zero. I just don't really like it as much. I like the other grade 3s. But when you ride on him, you discard another 3 and choose 3 of your opponent's rear guards and lock them. It's a lot faster of a startup if you want to Omega Lock, or if you want to use his game winning. It locks 3 instead of 2, which honestly is a really big difference for this deck because you have to try to lock their field as fast as possible. Otherwise, 3 Maelstrom Reverse, 3 Reverse Cradle, and 2 Reverse Vowing Sword. Or Vowing Saber, at least. These are just the reverse units you filter your deck with. I was playing, I think, 2 more. Or I was playing 1 more, but I took it out for the Glendios. 8 reverse units is good enough. I want to play another Cradle, probably take out a reverse for it, because it's a Link Joker with reverse in the name, which means you can grab it with World Line Dragon and discard it again for next turn if you don't have the setup you need yet.
You want to explain a skill in case you have to ride him?
Oh yeah, and I've never had to ride these guys, is one thing. I've never had to ride them. But if you have to ride Reverse Cradle, he's like a mini Glendios. If you call a reverse unit, you lock an opponent's rear guard, and he gets +5 for the turn, and you can only do that once per turn, as the same with Glendios. And his effect makes all rear guard reverses become Link Joker so that they can continue to attack, ignoring their Lord skill.
Which one adds the 4K to the rear guards reverses?
Glendios. Makes them all 15. So with a high number of grade 3s, we don't play many grade 2s. 3 Magnet Hollow. If his attack hits on Vanguard or rear guard, you can counterblast 1, check your deck for a reverse unit, and put it in your hand. So as long as, even if he's in your Vanguard and World Line is in your Soul, you can search a reverse unit and then ditch it before you ride, because it's before the ride phase. So, basically a playmaker in the deck. You gotta search the reverse units, even for Omega Lock. He puts a lot of pressure on the opponent. 4 Cold Death Dragon. The reason this deck does so well is because of Cold Death Dragon. If your opponent doesn't fill up their field, this will fill up their open spaces. Or I've had times where I'll Break Ride, lock 3, and just use these 2 to lock the rest of them so I can win. Easily the best grade 2 in the deck, considering you're only playing the 3, but still, amazing card. Lastly, I like playing 3 Colony Maker in this because the grade 1s in this deck are extremely good. You counterblast 1 when your opponent has a locked card, you superior call 1. I don't know if I explained. He's a CB1 if your opponent has a locked card. Top card of their deck goes onto a circle of their choice as locked. You can't pick a unit that's already locked because that circle is unavailable. You'd have to pick an open or an occupied circle by a unit, not a locked card. But Colony Maker, you can Superior Call the Grade 1 over top of her, so it's kind of not worth the minus necessarily. It just depends on your field setup. But the Grade 1s you play in this deck are extremely integral to keeping your setup and building your hand, so 3 of her is pretty good.
Why not 4 Magnet Hole and 2 of her? Why not 4 Magnet Hole and 2 of her?
I don't like... Because Magnet Hollow is not going to necessarily hit late game.
Yeah.
And I want the option of being able to use her later.
That's true.
Because Magnet Hollow is not always a guaranteed hit. And Colony Maker is always a guaranteed setup. That's it for 2s. Obviously, since we're playing the... I think 14 3s? Yeah, I think it's 14. You're playing...
And you're running the World End build. You're not running the Beatdown build.
Yeah, I can
How
turn
many
it...
reverses are you buying?
8.
Oh.
So yeah, I should be playing 14.
13.
14 or 13, one of the two. Anyways, grade 1s. 4 Ruin Magician. This card is amazing. You CB1, and for every unit with reverse on the rearguard circle, you pull a unit with reverse from your discard back to your hand. This really helps me set up for the Omega Law, or for the World End. And yes, I kind of did orient this deck more towards World End because I like that strategy better. But even today, I was able to prove that even if I don't get the World End, I can turn into a beatdown build because my rearguards still have a lot of power. Putting this behind a reverse unit hits 22, and I only play one other grade 1 that's a 6k, so that makes it 21. It still hits the numbers you need, but Ruin Magician is essential for the World End. Otherwise, for this dude, Jesus Christ, Presiodinium. Basically, he's just the damage unflipper. You call it, and for every reverse unit you have, you unflip a damage. There have been times where I'll have 2 up front in the reverse. I'll just call a 3rd one in back and a Colony Maker. CB1, Superior Call this over Colony Maker, and unflip 3. So it can really help me set up for more Omega Locks and doing more combos with Ruin Magician and Cold Death. The situations aren't exactly perfect to unflip a lot of damage. Even if you call it with Colony Maker with 2 reverses, you only technically unflip 1 because you CB'd 1 to begin with. But even unflipping 1 could mean the difference between winning and losing a game with Glendios. And I don't like playing perfect guards just because I don't want to discard. I want to keep my hand as big as possible just for safety. I play 2 Rubidium, and if I need to ride it, it's okay. If I need to call it, I'm never going to really call it. I'll keep it. But it's if you guard with this unit, while your Vanguard is a Glendios, you can retire it from the Guardian Circle and pick a reverse rear guard and redirect the attack to him. You can redirect the attack to a back row unit. You don't have to waste a guard on it whatsoever. You just guard with him, retire it, and redirect the attack. It only works if you have a Glendios Vanguard, so it kind of sucks early game, but then again, a perfect guard would make me discard early game too, so it's not really a good thing when I'm trying to get set up. 10 2s, 10 1s otherwise. I've been debating on playing 7 crit, 5 draw, but right now I'm sticking with 7 draw, 5 crit. Because, again, I'm not playing the beatdown build as much. I'm playing as the auto-win build, so I need to play the more draw so I can get the combo pieces to my hand. And the sort of essential 4 heals, there have been times where I'll attack while I'm at 4, and I'll heal into 3, and then they'll just basically pass their turn so I can't Omega Lock them again, which does hurt in the long run. But the only time I'm going to use Omega Lock in this deck is 99% of the time is if their field has 5 locked cards anyway, which means I'm going to win. If I'm at 5, I would never do anything like that beforehand. I'll just pass turn, because if I drive check one of these when I'm at 5 and I Omega Locked and wasted all my resources, my opponent will pass turn and I won't win. They'll just stall me out, which is very frustrating. So, absolutely never take your final turn attacking, because you could just heal and it would hurt really badly. And I refuse to not play heals because that's just awful. Alright guys, so that was my Glendios deck profile. Remember to rate, favorite, comment, like, subscribe. We will see you guys next video.